Hi, I'm Phil Turek. In this episode, I'm going to put forward my hypothesis on how to deflate MAGA. How to deflate MAGA from all the rage that they are experiencing. Okay? So stay tuned.
In the beginning there was agony. Under the empires of old, the strong did what they willed, and the weak suffered what they must. But over the centuries, people built a strength of civilization, constitutions to restrain power, international alliances to promote peace, legal systems to peacefully settle disputes, scientific institutions to cure disease, news outlets to advance public understanding, charitable organizations to ease suffering, businesses to build wealth and spread prosperity, and universities to preserve, transmit, and advance the glories of our way of life. These institutions make our lives sweet, loving, and creative, rather than nasty, brutish, and short. Civilization is about learning, compassion, scientific wonder, the pursuit of justice. I view myself as being a citizen against tyranny. I'm Phil Turek, and I approve of this message.
This is Martians on Earth, Season 3, Episode 7, 4 Hurdles to Reform.
So in this episode, I just want to remind you, there are 3 tiers to banning gerrymandering nationwide. But let me go over in this episode what the 4 big hurdles are to accomplishing that one task. First of all, the task is resurrect from the dead Senate Bill 5335 from the 117th Congress. It was introduced in December of 2022 by Senator Klobuchar, and it was killed in the Senate by filibuster. We need to put together 3 first responders in each district. 2 of the 3 are registered voters who have the same political affiliation as your representative. The third one is from the opposition political party. I'm a Republican. I'm over here at one of my alma maters, Cal State Fullerton. In the background, they're doing this fine Dream Jiu-Jitsu event, and I was invited here to do a little bit of campaigning. I have found what I really need, a Democrat who's willing to stand up and understand that MAGA is going to fight against what we're trying to do. Foolishly, we're trying to give them political representation, but their leader isn't going to want it. Their leader wants to retain power at all costs. So sadly, trying to help MAGA hurts, means we might get hurt by MAGA in the process. Foolish. But I'm happy. Cal State Fullerton campus, beautiful Sunday afternoon. Here's I need to get back on task here. Okay, so I now think I have 2 Democrats to work with me, read Senate Bill 5335 out loud, make an appointment, drop by our representative's local office in Costa Mesa, and just show up and say, hey, look, we're a bipartisan committee of constituents, first responders, tier 1. And we're here to tell you, we want you to resurrect this dead bill that bans gerrymandering nationwide. Here's the 4 hurdles that we would have to overcome. So, it's not a walk in the park. First, the Speaker, Speaker Johnson in the House of Representatives, is essentially the Speaker of the President. He's not representing the House of Representatives. He's not representing the American people. So we have to have enough first responders talking and persuading with enough, and by the way, respectfully, no violence. All of this has to be done peacefully. Any violence and the odds of success go down by 50%, are cut in half. Respectfully, peacefully, you try to nudge your representative towards resurrecting this dead bill in our currently dead Congress. And the first hurdle is to get the Speaker of the House to actually push this bill through the House. Johnson won't do it. So we need to have enough political pressure on the representatives in Congress to vote in a Speaker who will push this bill through. Out of the 435 members of Congress, House, that means a simple majority is about 220 representatives. You figure we need maybe 10 groups of 3 people, first responders for each of those representatives. We're talking about around 16,000 first responders total to make this start to happen. Okay, so yikes, it's not easy, but that's just the first hurdle, and that's the easiest hurdle. Replace Speaker Johnson, who's the Speaker of the President, with someone who will be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Second hurdle, you have to overcome a filibuster in the United States Senate. It takes 60% of the Senate to override a filibuster. Out of 100 senators, that means 60 senators. A little padding, probably 66 centimeters will have to, claim they're going to do it, and some will bail out. So we need to put enough political pressure, first responders mostly, on our senators to override a filibuster in the Senate. The third hurdle is to overcome a presidential veto. Now it's even harder. For this hurdle, we need to put enough political pressure to have still 60% of the Senate on board with us to override a presidential veto. Plus, now we need 60% of the House of Representatives on board to also override that presidential veto. And that's going to work out to be 262 representatives, roughly. So up from just 220, now we need 262. But that's only 3 of the 4 hurdles. The fourth one is somewhat illegal, and that is MAGA itself. It is a cult. It believes whatever their leader tells them to believe. It does whatever their leader tells them to do. And members of this cult have been installed in the upper levers of our federal government. So as we build up momentum, as we begin to push this bill through Congress towards completion, the most probable response after calling it a hoax, calling us paid protesters, calling us radical left lunatics, the list of 20 excuses, the only ones he knows. After that, or during that, he's going to direct the resources of the federal government and his cult to come after us. What are we doing? We're trying to exercise our rights as citizens of the United States to make a change when we don't like the way our representatives are behaving. That's all I'm trying to do. If this works, I'll run for Congress. If this doesn't work, there's no point. Congress won't mean anything. Right now, it is shut down. Mike Johnson might never bring it back up. We are not in a republic anymore. We're not in a democracy. Go, Google it, look up, what does it mean to be in a competitive authoritarian regime? Look at the details. That's where we are today. You don't believe me? Look at tomorrow's headline. Look at next week's headline. We're there. You want to change it? Become a first responder. Go to my wonderful website, stupid channel, Martians on Earth 847. Why? I still want to do my Mars project. And my Mars project involves building, using a mission to Mars as a tool for making social changes here in the United States. And I like to think of myself as being an ancestor of a future Martian civilization that represents our best values, our highest ideals. And so here I am, a Martian on Earth, an ancestor. And if you think of the old math joke, why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Haha. Well, turns out YouTube assigned me 847. And 47, well, of course, that's the congressional district in California where I reside. Happens to also be the number of the current president of the United States. But that's just a coincidence. Oh, Steve Bannon says there's no coincidences. Oh, well. What does Steve Bannon actually know? Okay? So, the leadership at the top of this cult wants gerrymandering nationwide. It'll keep political zombies in control. I want to ban gerrymandering nationwide. You need to be brave. And when you look at these people behind me and the families here, you wonder, where am I going to find people brave enough to stand up to warrantless arrest and possibly deportations and the IRS audits that we didn't deserve but are going to be, inflicted on us? The federal government will come after us. What are we doing? We're exercising our right. That's all we're doing. Where do I find brave people to do this? And the answer is, we're already here. I want you to think about Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. 4 planes were hijacked by actual real terrorists. On the 4th plane, United 93, bound for Los Angeles. Not many people on the plane, but just like these people here. Just ordinary us. And what did we do? when we saw that our nation was being threatened. Because we had cell phones. Our loved ones called us up and said, hey, a plane has been, hijacked and flown into the World Trade Center. So the passengers knew they were on a doomed flight. They did not go down without a flight. They sacrificed their remaining moments of life to prevent an attack on our nation. So I'm telling you, the bravery that we need to do this is already here among us. It's within you. Work with friends. Build some courage. Follow the instructions to become a first responder. It's not going to work by itself. So there's tier 2, where we go and we do town halls and rallies for democracy on street corners with our signs. And then there's tier 3, where every member of the House of Representatives is up for re-election once every 2 years. 1 year from November, this coming month. You could vote out of office everyone who doesn't support banning gerrymandering nationwide. It's that simple for us. You vote. You go into the voting booth. You fill out the ballot according to your conscience. You come out and you tell your neighbors, speaking to the representative that you just got rid of, you tell them you're fired. Yeah, we get to do that. The President of the United States does not have that power. If he had that power, he'd fire Congress. He can't do it. Only we can do it. That is our power when it says we the people. That's you, that's me. I need your help. I cannot do this by myself. I hope you don't hear all that racket. They're happy kids. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done ranting and raving for this episode. Last thing is, if we get stymied a lot, the last step that works, that's nonviolent, and that's all we can do, is called civil disobedience. That requires 3.5% of the population. For us, that's about 12 million people. And where do we get them? We get them from businesses, working with universities, working with non-governmental organizations, with charities, with churches, religious groups of all kinds, to collectively engage in civil disobedience. If that means shutting down the economy, we did that during COVID. We can do it again. It might take that much effort to finally deflate this cult. I'm Phil Turek. I do not approve of what we have to do, as only because morally we shouldn't have had to do this in the 21st century. But I do approve of my own efforts to try to save our nation. I'm Phil Turek. I approve of this message.